Hello everyone, my name is Gil Villanueva.
I'm Megan Starling.
And I'm Lauren Sefton.
And we work in office admission at Rhodes College, and our job today is to help you with the college essay.
So you might be thinking, well, first thing I'm going to do is check the prompts. What do they want me to write about? And we would advise you not to start there. We would advise you to think about a story that you want to tell, some way that you want to communicate yourself in your Common App personal statement essay. And then figure out which prompt best matches the story that you've told. I can assure you that we have never finished reading applications and said, gosh, what an amazing essay, but that student didn't answer the question. So start with the story you want to tell.
Students, sometimes there's a big difference between a why and how essay and a what and when essay. I personally think a why and how essay is a lot more interesting. And students, don't feel like you have to have this really amazing or sensational topic to write about, because I personally feel sometimes the more mundane topics actually make for a really good essay because you get to showcase your writing skills. Sometimes when we feel like we're actually there with you, that is a big thumbs up. So Lauren, talk to us a little bit about authenticity.
So no matter what story you want to share with the admission office, we hope that you do it in your own authentic voice. And the way you know that you've done a good job of that is if we can take your essay, put it in a stack of 100 anonymous essays, and your best friend can immediately pick out your essay because of the topic you chose, the language you're using, and the way that your voice literally jumps off the page at the reader, that it has to have been written by you. Now, there's lots of conversation right now about the use of AI in college applications, even so that colleges many times will have their own policies about AI. You may end up deciding to use AI to help you brainstorm outlines, but AI cannot write your essay. Only you can share your essay in your words in your own authentic voice. And remember, when you submit the Common Application, you're pledging that your work is your own. So Megan, tell us a little bit about what role the essay and that authentic voice plays in the admission process.
I think if you remember from this conversation one thing, that authentic voice is so important, because think about what you're going to submit to colleges and universities as part of your application. It's your transcript, which is a lot of data points, right? It's letters of recommendation that other people are sharing their words about who you are. It's your list of activities and how you've demonstrated what you're passionate about. The essay or personal statement, which I think gets you closer to writing what we're looking to read, is where we hear your voice, where we learn who you are as a person, and we get a sense of that personality behind all of the data points and other people's perspectives. So that essay gives you a chance to talk about growth, to talk about connection, to talk about context, all those things that we might not otherwise hear through the rest of the application. And particularly in a moment where there's more and more test optional, this is an additional way for us to get to know you in a very big way. And it's important that we also see that you're a good writer. So that is important as well. What are some mistakes though, Lauren, that people make when they're submitting their essay?
I mean, between the three of us, we've all read hundreds of thousands of essays. And I think we do see some common pitfalls. Sometimes the student chooses something that's just too broad, or they're trying to tell too many stories in one personal statement. I think you'll also find that students write a great story, but at the end of the story, we don't actually learn anything about the student themselves. We really want to hear your story in that essay. Another common pitfall is over-thesaurusizing your words. If you do not use that word in your regular language, the essay is not the time to try out that new vocabulary. So we really want to hear the students' voice in their own words, and that's the expectation. And I think finally, you have to proofread at the end. So when it comes to finally writing that draft, Gil, what are some proofreading tips that you have for our students?
So students, remember, good writing actually calls for multiple drafts. And certainly it behooves all of us to go ahead and proofread our work. And a top tip, I would ask someone you trust to actually proofread it for you. Or also, you can go ahead and read it aloud so you can kind of catch certain things if they don't sound correctly. And also, understand, you guys, we don't expect a Pulitzer Prize winner. We expect you to write like an 18-year-old. So that said, we want you to have as much fun with it. Do remember to spell check And remember, sometimes those sentences get pretty long, so make sure it's not too long. And that, again, ultimately, like what my colleagues are talking about, it's really you and it reflects who you are and what you want to impart to us as your readers.
If you had fun writing it, then we will have fun reading it.
Good luck.
Enjoy.